Morning, everybody. Jeff from Rust Bucket Valley Garage. We have another repairman special this morning. This is a Milwaukee 2771-20 transfer pump. It is cordless. It runs off of the M18 battery packs. Okay, and those are stored in here. You can just take it anywhere. You can transfer most any kind of liquid. You cannot transfer oil, and you cannot transfer gasoline. The pump that they have is located in this end right here. And you notice there's a little plastic window there. Put gasoline in there. It will take and eat all the seals and everything. So you really don't want to do that. It's a repairman special that we got off eBay for about 90 bucks. Okay, this is a $250 piece of equipment, and we decided, well, what the heck, we'd take a chance. If for no other reason, we just get the knowledge of, how the thing works, how it's put together, all that kind of stuff. So we wanted to take and go ahead and before we do the disassembly, we wanted to verify that it was broken. So we took a full charge battery and we put it in here, and the on switch is right here, and we turned it on, and yep, it didn't do anything. So anyway, we started the disassembly process. It is evident from the beginning that they don't want you inside here. Okay, they don't want you repairing this, but I have a different opinion of that. So if it takes a special tool or something, I am going to go get that. They put the thing together with Torx head screws. They're T20s, and you need a special screwdriver that is long because the screws are recessed way down inside a well. Okay, you'll see right here, these are pretty far down inside there. So we've already kind of taken this apart so we can take and move the video along. But this is where the battery goes in here, and there's some points down there that you slide it down in this channel. And there's also a rubber piece in here that fits in here like this. So to take and get this apart, you take all the screws out, and then there's one extra little Easter egg that they give you right down here. There is a T10 screw, okay, which requires a long bit as well. So if you don't have a T10 and T20 screwdriver, you got to find one, borrow one, beg one, order one, whatever. We got two off Amazon because it's not something that we really deal with all the time. So we went ahead and we took this apart, and this is kind of what we found inside. So when we split the thing in half, okay, you notice that it kind of breaks down into a couple of different assemblies. This is a pump mechanism right here. This is a motor mechanism right here. They have a circuit board right here. They have a 30 amp fuse right here. And then they have a momentary on-off switch. This is kind of an unusual thing in that they have a button right here, and then they have a lever that goes over, and you press once to take and start it, and then you press again to stop it. Okay, so on this little printed circuit board right here, there's quite a bit going on. Okay, so the first thing we did is we checked this fuse right here, and it was blown wide open, and it was potted in some kind of silicone material. So we went ahead and we took that out, and we found out that the fuse was a 30 amp. And I'm thinking, wow, that is something, something really bad happened, for that to take and blow 30 amps. Okay, but those the M18 batteries can take and put out a lot of current. Okay, to drive the drills and the hammers and drivers and flashlights and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's not really surprising. Okay, so what we did is, first thing we did is we replaced the fuse, and it still wouldn't work. Okay, so next thing we did is we disassembled the see, we have index marks and everything, make sure we get everything back together. We disassembled the pump, and then we disassembled that off of the motor. Okay, and this comes apart real easy. There's only 2 screws holding this on. There's 4 screws holding this window on. The pump vane that is inside here on this end right here, you see there's a vane in there. That just pulls off. So it's real easy to take and get apart. Okay. Once we got the motor out, we noticed that the bearings on the motor were seized up. Okay, so that's the reason it overloaded and blew the fuse and everything. So we took and we got some penetrating oil, and we lubed the bearings, and it was also seal here that was really, really dirty. We cleaned that up. Okay, so the water won't get back into the motor. And we went ahead and we got the motor running again. Okay, so then we turned to the circuit board right here, and this circuit board was shot. The circuit board here has a couple of different functions. Okay, it provides momentary on-off function. It also provides a voltage regulator, because this battery puts out 18 volts, but the motor only runs at about 5 volts. Okay, so we determined that. So we took this over to one of our other buildings where we do our electrical work, and we put it on a power supply and find out, how much current it draws, and it really was less than an amp when it's running, just by itself and is not running the pump. Okay. However, one thing that we did find that was really interesting was that when we take and put the pump assembly back on there, and then we ran this, the current jumps from 1 amp to 10 amps. Okay, and that's normal because it takes a lot to take and drive this. Okay, so them having a 30 amp fuse in here, now that doesn't really seem so odd. Okay, we took this this little circuit board out and took the wires off of it and stuff like that. We thought possibly these are FETs, field effect transistors. We thought maybe that they were bad, and it turns out that they were not bad. So this is called surface mount technology. Okay, dealt a lot with this in the aerospace industry. Spent 37 years in aerospace. We used to see this stuff every day. We had very specialized ladies that take and work on these things, and they make it look so easy. So big kudos to all the ladies that work in aerospace and work on this stuff. You truly have some special talents, and we really, really appreciate you. So anyway, we went off and we looked for the part number for this board, and unfortunately, the board is not available. Okay, it's not available anyplace. I saw one used on eBay, and it was $65. and I couldn't get to it quick enough. Somebody snatched that, so evidently this is a very popular failure. Okay, and then we took the battery mounting block off of that, because now it's redesign time. Okay, in addition to having a voltage control circuit in here and the on-off, have you ever noticed that when you're using a drill or something that has the M18 battery pack in it, the voltage will get down to a certain amount and then it will stop? Okay, the battery is not completely dead. However, there is a sensor in there that will take and shut the tool off. Okay, and that also has that circuitry in here as well. If you look at the back of this, okay, there are 4 wires on here. The 2 heavy ones carry the current, and the 2 smaller ones are sense leads that sense when the battery takes and goes down too far. It will take and shut the tool off, okay, to avoid damage. Okay, so if we are going to take and rebuild this thing, and we want to take and do it, because the thing is, this is a $250 tool, okay, and we spent about $90 for it. Okay, so we really want to take and get this going. And so basically what we want to do is we want this thing to run with a portable battery, okay, and we want to be able to take and turn it off and on. Okay, we're not really that concerned about the battery going down. When the battery gets down to a point, we'll notice that it won't supply the current to the pump and the motor, okay, and then it'll stop. Okay, so we're going to take and bypass that function. So what we actually did is we went on our favorite place, Amazon, not a sponsor, okay, and we got a module, okay. This right here is called a buck converter, okay. What a buck converter does is it's a voltage regulator. It will take anywheres from 12 to 24 volts, and this particular one puts out 30 amps, or let me say it's capable of putting out 30 amps at 5 volts. Okay, so we want to take and run this motor at about 5 volts. Okay, so what a buck converter does, which mimics this, it's another type of switching power supply. Okay, the way that a buck converter works is to regulate the voltage. You can turn it on and then turn it off really quickly. But the thing is, you turn it off and turn it off electronically so quickly that to the device being run, it looks like DC. Okay, there is a vast difference between the way you control AC devices. Okay, this is a direct current DC device. Okay, so that's a reason you have to take and do this. So what we'll do is we will take and find a place for this, okay, in here someplace, okay, and then we'll put an on-off switch on it, and then we'll still be able to use the batteries in here, and it will work absolutely fine. There is a pair of leads that comes out of the motor. They are sense leads. Okay, we are not going to be using these. Okay, we are going to be using the drive wires. So we're going to be heavily fusing this to about 20 amps. Okay, we don't expect it to take and draw any more than that. 30 amps, a little overkill. unless this motor seizes up again, and then it'll go ahead and take out the 20 amp fuse. Okay, but what you can do fuse wise is they have these automotive type fuses, okay, that we use in line, and there's a fuse inside here. It's waterproof, so you go ahead and put these things in line and it will keep everything safe. Okay, there ain't no way this thing is going to draw 30 amps, okay, at 5 volts. Okay, so let me get this thing together, and I'll show you how it runs. So to reconstruct this thing and rewire it and do everything to it, what I had to do first off is, if you look down in here, these two pieces are just fitted together. I took a Dremel tool and I made a slot right in the edges of the two pieces so I could take and run this wire through. One set of these wires is for the battery that goes right here, and the ones with the sleeves on them are the ones extended wires for the motor. Okay, so I put 2 screws in here to take and hold these two pieces together, and we're going to start building the circuitry in here, and that's going to be basically the buck converter that I told you about, the voltage regulator. We're going to have to take and put a switch in here, and this is the top. It's probably going to go in here someplace. Okay, and then of course we've got to put some fuses in here, and this is what they look like. They got to go in line so that we don't take and blow this thing up. Okay, so it's coming along. So basically all I've done is I've extended the wires and I put a notch in here so we can take and get these things back together and get the wires moved over into this area. In this area here, inside here, there is a little bit of area, but there isn't a fifth of the area that I need. Okay, so we had to bring everything over in here. So we got the wiring all done here. We have the buck converter in here. We have our fuses in here. We have our switch mounted, okay, here on the top. Okay, be out of the way. Shouldn't be any moisture getting up there. That is a moisture resistant switch. Okay, so I think we have a good repair. So let's go ahead and put a battery in it and see what happens. Okay, so we've got everything closed up. Let's see if the turbine turns. And it does. It's also turning in the right direction. So looks like we got a good unit here. So total cost of repair, about $30. So total cost of everything, about $130, because it was about $100 for this unit off of eBay, and in a non-working condition, and in about $30 in parts. So we went ahead and got about a $250, $280 piece of equipment for $130. So we just love these little repairman specials. So if you can get these things, take and give it a shot. See if you can take and fix it. All right. Good luck with your project. I'm glad this one turned out. So I hope you have a wonderful day. We'll see you next time.